With the shakeup with Prompted out, the analyst mentioned, that's your IGL off the board. This one may not be as clear as I initially thought. Again, like Cookies mentioned, OCG, maybe they weren't at full strength last week. They sure looked pretty impressive last stage, and this has just been 1 week where we saw their performance. It certainly wasn't what they were hoping to do, but going into Consulate, maybe this is a place they want to be here. I really don't know exactly what to expect. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah, when it comes to play style, I think Consulate works a little bit more in Okami's favor. Okami tend to be a little bit more aggressive than OCG, whereas OCG play a little bit tighter to the chest, more reserved. I am excited for this game for a completely unrelated reason, and that's I am very, very, very good friends with 4 of these players. 2 of them on one team and 2 of them on the other. In my mind, and in in our little group chat's mind right now, it is Exile and Raffi versus Bone and GXD. And no matter who wins, if one or several of those 4 players does bad when it comes to stats, we're gonna make a lot of fun of them. So I'm looking forward to that. So this is a little bit of battle of the friend group, but I think the point that Connor and Cookies brought up is something that we cannot ignore. This is not the same as when, PDHM, now Okami, had a sub last stage. It was Exo who was subbed out, Flak coming in. Not to say that Exo is a completely replaceable player at that point in time, but it's a little bit less of a blow than losing Prompted, your main IGL and your rock on the team.
Attackers need to locate
and hard support is something that Exo hasn't played, at least not to my knowledge, since the amateur scene, since he was underage. So this will be an interesting game. And already, OCG are going to start off downstairs.
Actually,
or rather, tellers.
Yeah,
one of them's downstairs. I was half right.
They're going to split here. So this one's a good first test for OCG to see how they can bounce back from last week, because I'd argue this site requires the most coordination of any bomb site in the entire game. And maybe that could be up for debate here. But the point is, there is a lot at stake on this bomb site, and there is one crucial element missing. Where is the pulse? Something that we usually see here. We also don't often see spawn peaks like this, but Nova is going to take advantage. Does a little dance, because that is a fantastic opening pick for OCG. That's Raffi taken off the board. That's your Zofia and one of your big guns that you definitely like to have back if you're Okami. So that's going to be one way to start. OCG looking good. Again, as I mentioned, the lack of pulse could come into play a bit later, but right now it's going to all be about this top-down clear.
I do know that that is not the start that Okami as a whole, and Raffi in particular, wanted. He was very upset after going 3-12 against Parabellum and swore that he would bounce back this week. I guess more of his voice. It was, I will bounce back this week, since he's French. And I do a brilliant Raffi impression. But unfortunately, he's got a spawn peak. You really got to watch out for that. On a map like Consulate, where there are windows quite literally everywhere, no spawn is safe. You constantly have to be watching those angles. And Subarctic, who nearly takes a C4 from below, it's actually going to be Nova to find Exo and Zoinkers onto Exile. 3 kills in a row for OCG with no response at all save for HP off of Nova. It's Subarctic and Web in a 2 versus 5, and sure, they have a minute and a half to do it, but it's still a very steep hill for them to climb. I don't believe there's anybody left upstairs for them to deal with. Most of the roamers have defaulted back, but although there's no pulse, you still have info. You still have BPs, maybe even a Mozzie Pest, and you got 2 C4s from GXD and Devil. Subarctic tries to make an aggressive play into the site, but he's not able to tag up anyone. And now there's a minute left. This nade has to find a kill. It's not going to find anything. Okami just cannot find the opening they need to get a comeback going.
Yeah, the EE1D scan is going to come up with nothing. WAV will spot out the head of one player tucked close in the back of Tellers, a C4. will go out without connecting with anybody, but Subarctic is going to walk on into their grave if they're not careful. GXD will find the next, and now a 1v5 for the Yana with 34 seconds left to play. Not looking super good, especially now that GXD will line up that final shot with the SMG-11 and a remarkably clean round, flawless in fact, from OCG to start off this map.
Especially thanks to Nova on the roam towards the console side of the map, getting that spawn peak, falling back downstairs, nearly getting a C4 kill on a Subarctic, and killing Exo. Combine that with the fact that Okami, not only did they take a decent bit of time to clear through the map, they lost so many bodies with 0 response. It's a 2 versus 5, and OCG know that they have the man count to play within Tellers itself, something that we don't often see, but it worked out as GXD found both of the final kills. A really dominant round from OCG. Okami looking a little bit lost, but we'll see what happens when Raffi can actually get in the building if he doesn't get spawn peeked.
It would certainly help to not die off the rip, especially if you want to win some rounds. But OCG, they don't want to let that one happen. They want to continue to get these kills, and, well, maybe Nova will go for another aggressive play. But right now, the focus will be shifting over towards this other first floor bomb site, not split anymore, instead in lobby and in piano. So we'll see what they can concoct here, but once again, the beginning of the round is the same structure. It will rely on a top floor hold, more so than the last. Typically, we'll see 3 defenders even locking down this top floor until late in the game. That is something that Okami were unable to get past last round, and something they will need to get under wraps if they want to have any chance on consulate attack, because unless you're going to that basement site, but even then, top floor clears are probably the most common thing you're going to do on this map. We'll see how they can clean things up starting with round number 2. We'll have Raffi go on this spiral stairs rappels, look for any possible rotations, anybody playing inside the long desk here. But right now, OCG, they'll set up camp in their respective holes. 1 player over in meeting, 1 player locking down B1 in a second. Upstairs in, I believe probably in CO right now, but right now the nade and the focus will be in antechamber. Nade from Exile goes down to destroy that mirror window position, and that will make it considerably yet less useful now that that nade has gone through. Good swing there from Exile will net him the kill, and actually the plant is going down.
And there's... what? I have no idea what just happened. Exo got off the plant to get a kill. Exile was able to find another one after that nade, and every single anchor from OCG was just ineffectual. Exile will get ripped off of the rappel for Nova's first kill, but he's still got 4 more to find in a post-plant on Consulate. Probably the hardest map to retake on. There's players still outside on the rappel, there's people above, and it's Subarctic on the upside down to finish him off. Okami, Storm, Piano. They get the kill in the bathroom, they see the opening, and they take it. They barely even need to move into the top floor, and everybody on OCG just crumbled.
Yeah, that round was quite the opposite of what I predicted there with the top floor clear. I highlighted the importance of that, and Okami just said, well, it went so bad the first round, why don't we just skip it entirely? They put the pressure on the antechamber window, they hopped right on into piano, and they immediately started going to work on that plant. I mean, that right there is a perfect adaptation. Yeah, that may not work more than once. It's typically more of a surprise play that you're not going to see very often. But when you can employ that kind of strategy, it is great to see it work well. That's going to neutralize our score at 1-1 and give Okami a little bit more to work with. OCG, they don't want to go back there. They're going to head straight to the basement to change things up.
Still bringing the mirror. And I'm wondering if, where is Zoinkers? Alright, so I imagine this is probably a bathroom mirror. That would make sense.
10 seconds left.
That round, I need to go back and watch that round after this game is done. Because I saw Exile got that nade kill onto GXD in the bathroom. Or sorry, he used the nade to open up the mirror window and then got the kill on the GXD in bathroom, and I looked down to right, okay, Exile opening pick on a GXD, and then you said the plant was going down. I look up and 3 people died.
Yeah.
I had no idea what happened. So hopefully, I don't get caught with my pants down this round. That's supposed to be happening to the players in game, not me. But I guess hats off to Okami for taking literally everybody off guard. And this is a garage defense, like you had mentioned, and there is a roam. And what does that mean? It means Okami's got to clear this top floor. Drones already being sent in. There are 2 people that they're going to have to deal with, as well as that bathroom position. They were very quick in the last round, but again, that's because they didn't have to clear it. And the first pick of the round, that is not good for Okami. Nova is going to get what could possibly be the most important operator on this site, the Thermite.
Yeah, that is not a pick that you want to lose so early. And, well, now they're going to have to come up with some sort of ridiculous recovery. But considering this is Garage, it's going to have to be a complete change in this approach.
The lockers push?
I mean, I guess. I mean, what can you do at this point? You can apply vertical, sure, but what is that going to get you if you can't get the Garage open? Zoinkers will continue to apply pressure to this attack as a C4 kill will find its way on the scoreboard, now removing Exile from play. So if you wanted to attempt any vertical, that chance is now out the window. If you wanted any intel in the form of an EE1D scan, that's gone as well. Subarctic and Raffi, last players standing here against 5. Raffi will make that against 4, as Nova is finally dealt with. But now OCG know exactly what they're dealing with. Okami have one option and one option alone: push down a staircase. Subarctic will walk down the spiral stairs only to find several bullets in the chest. We'll have to fall back for now. And Raffi will push down the other staircase over here on yellow. Again, no one immediately challenging this OCG. They are sitting back and waiting because they know exactly what they are going up against. Nearly spotted out the feet of Devil there. That's Subarctic, who almost got that kill, but not quite able to secure it. Raffi not in a position to do much either, as Devil will just wide swing and win that engagement. Subarctic, last player standing against 4 different full health defenders and only 14 seconds to find all 4 kills. That is simply not possible. Zoinkers on a little nice flank here from the bathroom will find that last kill, and that will be a clean round for OCG.
Off the back of the roam as well. Okami took a decent bit to clear it out because they lost some pretty early picks. First, it was Nova, who has just been running rampant over this attack to find the first kill onto Thermite. That in and of itself almost completely shuts down the round for the attack unless they can find the picks. But what comes next? Exile tries to play vert, and a C4 very quickly meets him. And then WAV face check spiral, and it's just kind of over. OCG playing around the roam very well, taking out the vertical very early, falling back to site, and just waiting for Okami to walk into them. That's what you love to see from a team with an early advantage. And now OCG, they'll start their site rotation over again. We're going back to Archives, where they had initially taken a flawless round. So far, all 3 rounds played, whether it's gone to one team or another, have been extremely dominant.
Yeah, pretty one-sided rounds. Pretty much every single time, what we're seeing here is teams not getting over-aggressive or over-eager once they have that advantage. They're still playing their game. Like you just highlighted, the defense of OCG, if they get an opening pick, they are sitting back and waiting. If Okami, if they get an opening pick, it's not like they're going to start slowing down or changing up the pace of their attack. They're not going to get aggressive and speed up. They are going to continue to run through their checklist, make sure everything gets done appropriately, and they're going to get that bomb down. That's exactly what we saw on their successful attacking round, but for them to find success here, we are going to need to see a little bit more of that. One-sided rounds, they often work in favor of the team that's carrying the momentum, and right now, that is firmly in the grasp of OCG. Okami are once again looking to begin this top floor clear, as they do have to get down towards that split site. Bone will get a kill, but Raffi will collect one with a Claymore. So that's fun, finally seeing a Claymore come into play. And Consulate is the perfect map for it. So many runouts, so many opportunities for defenders to get aggressive and take those kills, and Okami denying it early on.
Exile even throwing the nice shot out in chat to his former teammate, as Bone, GXD, and Exile all teamed together in T3. So, Bone already, doing better than he did last week. No 007 for him, but at least Okami, with that Claymore, find the trade on to Zoinkers. And honestly, a sledge, you don't necessarily need on this site, not like Garage. It's one of those operators that's nice to have, but it's not the end-all, be-all if you lose him. Not like a Thurman on Garage, for example. The push from Raffi comes through, but Exo on the rappel finds the player playing inside of admin. Nova gets cut down, I believe. I actually don't know how Exo got that kill, because it looked like he was too far down the window to see him, but I guess not. Raffi narrowly misses the player who's now rotated into Tellers itself. That might be Bone on the Vigil. I can't quite make out the silhouette. Or it's GXD on the mute, as he played in that position last time. And Devil will get the C4 kill onto Exo, trying to enter in through Visa, but Subarctic finds the back of GXD through the rotate. The mute just being a little bit too overexposed, and Bone, who has actually joined GXD inside of Tellers. They were both playing there. I thought it was just one of them. He'll get the refrag. Raffi now lit up to just 1 point of HP, tussling with Devil. This is mainly going to be on Wav now to be the main pushing force, but he's also been lit up. Devil on the prone finishes off Raffi, and Wav can't make anything happen. OCG, thus this was a much closer round, still hold on and extend their lead 3-1.
I really like what OCG are doing on this split defense, right? Because I highlighted the lack of a pulse, and that's something that is pretty alarming on this bomb site in particular. But what OCG are doing to avoid really needing that pulse is they are contesting the attack so much earlier than we normally see. What I mean by that is often with a pulse in play, you are okay letting the attacking team take control of Visa and Tellers and attempt to get the bomb down, because presumably you have a heartbeat sensor and you have 3 or 4 C4s sitting in pocket ready to be used with that intel, right? But we're not seeing that from OCG. Instead of playing passively and letting Visa and Tellers control get sacrificed, they are holding it very firm. They are putting pressure on the top floor, but instead of rotating away downstairs to the basement, they are simply taking up positions in Tellers, a place we don't often see actually safe at all to defend. They are doing a stellar job of putting themselves in the right place at the right time, and Okami, they're just not ready for that type of positioning. This looks like a team that is pretty used to dealing with a pulse, dealing with just getting control of Tellers, and that is not allowed to happen right now. They are doing just a fantastic job. Unfortunately, though, we will have a disconnect, so that stellar defensive performance will have to wait a bit longer.
Damn it! We went the whole first game without one. The whole first game, and then we get on to game 2. Of course, it's the people that I know personally that have to go and mess us up. Especially Bone. Bone, the one being the one getting DC'd. That's why he's 5 feet tall. That's all I'm saying. But jokes aside, OCG so far, their roams, very good. Okami, so far, it seems like whenever they enter the building, there is just somebody there to meet them. There was Nova spawn peeking round 1 and then following up with a second kill. All right, round number 2. Round number 2 we can forget about. Then they will go on to Garage. There's a roam upstairs. Nova kills Thermite first. There's a C4 to meet another player. And then we saw on Archives, once again, the roam working out beautifully for OCG. So if there's one thing that I would focus on as Okami is, well, first off, getting to the building without dying, and second off, once you're in the building, intel. Usually the reason why roams are working is because you don't have enough info. So I'll be looking to Okami to maybe change that or be a little bit more coordinated. If you're figuring that, with the way OCG are playing, you can easily get 1-for-1s, you need to have people constantly within trade distance. Because so far, with a lot of these kills that OCG are getting, despite them being aggressive plays, Okami don't have a response.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of a change in their attacking strategy, except for maybe round number 2, where they chose to get pretty aggressive and go for that straight piano take. But we haven't seen that change even on that split site, a site that went very one-sided in round number 1 and didn't go as one-sided in this previous round, but it was definitely OCG all the way, and Okami did not have that solution for it. So something they definitely need to work on here. We have 2 more rounds of the Okami attack, and they'd really like to get these on the board. Consulate is one of those maps that is often, more even than it is defensive or attacker sided, and going into your defense, you really want a little bit of that cushion if you can. Considering OCG are showing as really what they didn't show us last week. They're really good and really coordinated on this defensive side right now, and they seem to have Okami's number.
And I wonder, when it comes to a roam like that in the mid-game transitions, I wonder how much of that is down to the lack of Prompted. Prompted not being able to direct his teammates exactly where to go, where to pinch out these roamers. If maybe, maybe Prompted is a really good droner, and Exo, after taking a break from comp, I don't believe there was a whole fiasco over the week about a possible reschedule, and both Okami and OCG kind of assumed they were going to get it, and I think Okami maybe only have 1 scrim with Exo. So maybe Exo isn't completely aware of how the team has changed since he's played. That could definitely be a factor. But either way, OCG looking very good. Okami, except for that 1 round they won, looking a little bit uncomfortable. But like you said, there's still 2 more rounds for Okami to fix what they've been doing wrong. I think at the very least, I probably see a 4-2 half here. That makes sense to me. If Okami can get the 4-2 half, going on to defense, the loss of an IGL on defense hurts a lot less than the loss of an IGL on an attack.
That's something we're going to definitely have to consider going into the second half, even if it's been one-sided or one like this or that. OCG, they still have a lot to show on their attacking side. I know they are playing with, they're relatively full stack right now, but yeah, on defense, very often you just have to know your role. You sit back, you take a position, you watch a certain cam and support your teammate, but that can be a little bit more fragmented. You can have one person playing off the other on a roam. You don't need full 5-man pure just coordination like you do on the attacking side. So I think that brings up a great point. I know we're still waiting on one player to get back in this lobby before we get this one continued here, but what site? I think we're heading back to lobby and press room as far as I could tell before things closed on out. So we should get a good idea of how, rather than Okami adapting, how OCG adapt and maybe how they prepare for that potential rush. If Okami are going to try it again, and how OCG are going to put that utility, or there's that manpower in a position to counter it. You put too much utility on that top floor, too many men on that top floor, that's where problems can arise.
Yeah, I think one thing that definitely helped Okami's attack that I don't think will happen again is GXD falling to the under the mirror window that Exile had opened up with the nade. I don't think GXD falls for that again. They might hold on to bathroom a little more fervently, but I don't see OCG leaving piano wide open like that again. Either they need some more presence upstairs, or they need presence downstairs to help counter out that plant with a C4, force Okami to clear that area. Don't let them get to the stage because that's un-C4able, and if you force them to clear, as we've seen so far, that's where they struggle. The 1 round they've won on lobby is because they were able to hit the site direct and just blitz in and get that plant down. If you don't let that happen again, you force Okami to clear. Their roam clear has not been great. You can take the round. So in my mind, that's probably the most likely adjustment we'll see out of OCG, because they have been playing fairly aggressively, but who knows?
Yeah, I guess.
What are we
in
waiting
terms
for?
of? So again?
No, it's still Bone. I said, who are we waiting for?
Yeah, Bone still DC'd,
Come on,
running
Aaron.
in place, dead for sure. How did you? I know when you make a prediction for this match, you had to consider 4 of these players pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
How did you pick a favorite? What was your criteria, and why did you go Okami? I just got to know.
Mainly that OCG OCG lost 7-3 to SH, and OCG did not look great at all. Okami took Parabellum, a top 10 invite placer, to 8-6 OT. And in all honesty, if Okami, knew how to attack PB's club, you could debate that Okami probably should have won that a lot sooner. And, I just thought last time Okami had a sub, they beat Ape. So who knows? Maybe the magic is still there.
Well, a good thing is we're in the game. So that's big. Bone is alive.
Woo!
And we can get into this one. We've got, as we said, lobby and press room in the queue, with OCG heading there, pulling out the Mira again, the Mozzie again, but the Wamai, I don't think is something... I mean, obviously we saw him pick that in the previous round before the DC, but I don't know if we've seen this in any round prior. This could lend itself to that bathroom hold, I suppose, even harder than before.
I'm trying to see. I'm watching the setup from OCG to see if they do anything different. Well, no, I know the ops. The ops you can't, but I'm talking about like the... Oh, I see. Okay. Our observer was telling us, apparently, the admin said even reinforcements have to be the same.
10 seconds left.
I guess because they got that far into prep?
5 seconds
I don't
to
know.
go.
It looks like OCG...
Attackers are moving.
Okay, no, it looks like stuff is pretty much the same as lobby last time. They've still got the 2 mirror windows inside a bathroom. They've still got most of their upstairs presence over towards projector. I remember that, we did see someone get into console and attempt to deny the plant before they got, before Exo stopped planting and slammed them. But it does look like Okami have switched up their push. They know that they can't just rush piano again. They're going to go over towards admin, and they are going to attempt a clear. We'll see if round 5 is the first time they're successfully able to do so.
A lot of teams today struggling with these early clears, or struggling with those maybe transition points in the round between that clear and that actual execute, something we talked a lot about in that SH Esports game. Right now, so far, the focus remains on the clear itself. Okami have made their initial entry towards this admin side. We can see Subarctic already worked up into printer and contesting on to this long hallway. Nobody actually playing here in Coffin in that small office between the top of those Visa stairs and printer. Nobody appears to be playing in a long desk. All sitting back, waiting for this initial Okami push. Now, this is something all they really need to do is wait, and, well, it looks like that waiting is going to pay off for Zoinkers. The opening pick goes the way of OCG. Now the second, as Nova will drop down Subarctic as well. A tremendous top hold yet again is too much for Okami to deal with, and they are falling before they can even get a line of sight onto the objective. Bone going to take a quick challenge with Exile, but neither player winning out. A couple of pings through the smoke. Won't be able to find anything either. And although Okami are getting closer to securing this top floor control, they haven't done so quite yet, and they still need to get first floor pressure happening as well. Exile will finally take care of Nova playing in bathroom, but it's still a 3v4. Okami no doubt on the back foot.
At least they're able to get one player and the control they need. The other players have peeled off. 3 of them on the site, and 1 looking like he's coming up the spiral stairs into jungle. There is ample time for Exile to get vertical play down, albeit not a lot, but some. He's got the flank watch hole above spiral as well, but as Exile starts to move through, I don't think they know there's a player there. Exile will nade it just to be sure, and that'll flush whoever was playing there off, and as Raffi walks down yellow stairs, he just exposes his back to the mirror window. Exile will get the refrag, but Zoinkers, who retakes upstairs, finds Exile watching the hatch, and Exo, fumbling around the bomb chassis, is not long for this world, as the defense had the yellow pings. That was a rough start for Okami. It looked like they were starting to bring it back, but that execute was just not it.
Yeah, a rough start and a rough finish. At the points where you really needed that coordination, it just does not seem to be there. And I've got to agree with the points that I think we've all made at this point. Harrison, you mentioned it. Cookies mentioned it. CDAPS mentioned it. It's all about the lack of prompted right now. And of course, it doesn't always fall onto one player. It's not prompted that's carrying this team to victory. But when you have a central voice that leads the team week after week, and you're used to that leadership, maybe you've got a secondary IGL, but they're not used to putting all that weight on their shoulders, that is going to take a toll. Subbing one player out is big, but subbing out your IGL is massive. And I think we're seeing the consequences of that right now in front of our eyes. Okami now are down through a 3-round deficit is what they're staring down. OCG continuing to look good. Basement site, garage and cafeteria, the last chance for Okami to change things on attack. The one thing that we're going to have to see different is Exo staying alive to actually get the garage open. I know, shocker, you need your thermite alive, but that is simply what killed Okami's hopes in the previous round. I'm not saying that's going to be their saving grace, because we didn't see really any fragments of that attack to know if it would have been good or not with or without the thermite. But at the very least, that is the bare minimum they need to get done. Keep Exo in the game until he gets that wall open, and maybe at that point, you can lose some lives.
Yeah, Exo got to stay up, bro. That's the change, in summation. Okami will once again start off their clear. As we've highlighted, every time they've done this, it has been ill-fated. Hopefully we see some kind of change. It doesn't look like OCG are contesting the top floor too heavily. They've just got 2 men on yellow who are looking like they'll fall back in pretty short order if they get droned or pressured enough. Exile seems to be the main entry for so far, breaking flank watch holes in the floor as he moves through. And Raffi will spot out that there are players in benches. He'll get 1 bullet onto Nova, but it's nothing serious, and thus, Nova will be able to rotate back to the site and even play with his C4. Subarctic will drone out, Wav following close behind. They confirm that there is no one left upstairs. The next task is to deal with whoever's playing in bathroom.
Zoinkers is that very player, and he'll sneak his way down towards cafeteria and escape. So Okami won't have to deal with that directly, but they still need to figure out that it has been cleared out. Something that is, again, easier said than done. Subarctic will get a nice nade onto Nova, and the opening pick goes to Okami for the first time in quite a while. Possibly in this map entirely.
First time in 3 rounds.
First time in 3 rounds. Okay, maybe that's the momentum they need. Something they also need is time. They don't have a ton of it, but this nade could be perfect. And yes, it drops right onto the head of Zoinkers. Subarctic will swing right onto Bone. That's 2 players now dropped down. GXD and Devil, the last 2 remaining. And I don't know if Zoinkers is recoverable. He was down all the way over in Archives, and Devil cannot afford to leave site alone. But GXD seems that he can. 2 players are now cut off from the site, so if Okami can get something going, they could absolutely take this advantage and get this plant down. Subarctic will now get a triple kill as he continues to push from the back here, and an EE1D scan will freeze Zoinkers in place. Stun comes in, and Subarctic gets the quad. He's now on for the ace, but Wab is quick to steal it, but Okami will secure round number 6 and will restore some hope in this map, taking 2 of those 6 attacking rounds.
That's what we need to see from people like Subarctic. A huge pushing force for this team, finally coming through. A big 3K for him. Really, really well played, too. Getting the first nade. I love the nade onto Zoinkers, knowing that the mirror was there. And after downing Bone on the Visa stairs, he knew that if he pushes down, he's very susceptible to being refragged from Cafe. So he goes up, he uses the top holes. I like that. And Okami, their clear was a lot more thorough. And that's, I think, definitely what they needed. We even saw it. They were droning much more thoroughly. The Iana was coming through. They were following a little bit more closely behind their intel as well. And after Sub got that initial pick with the nade onto Nova, everything just neatly fell into place, especially after they were able to get the garage breach open because Exo stayed up. He didn't play aggro on the thermite. A lot of really good adjustments came through from Okami. And yeah, they end the half 4-2. Not that they're on their defense, a side which is much easier to do without an IGL than an attack is. maybe we'll be able to see them catch up. I think if Okami have their defenses down, I'm feeling OT.
5 seconds to go.
All right. Well, Consulate is a map that has always seen exorbitant roams or extensions. Let's just put it that way. SSG roam, that was initially coined on this map, in fact. That style of info denial and how long they're going to hold the far reaches of the map. And for that reason, it's no surprise why OCG clearly has roam clear on the mind, bringing both the Jackal and the Zero in an effort to counter some of the intel problems that their Okami opponents clearly had on their attacking side. So with a roam clear designed lineup, we'll see how efficiently they're able to do this and actually how much pressure Okami want to even put on this top floor at all. We can see the Jackal track will reveal one position and Bone will swing on in and make quick work of one. In fact, it will be a revive for his teammate as Nova will be able to get picked back up. So the loss of Raffi is one thing, and early in the round, not exactly what Okami were looking for, but if you're going to lose anybody at this point, it may as well be the person with no C4 and placing all that utility down already.
I mean, hey, he got the down onto Nova, so it is something. Here's the help from upstairs. Wav comes down, and he gets the trade onto Bone. A bit of a late trade, but still ends up being a 1-for-1, and that is not the player Raffi downed either. So Nova will still remain at this low HP, but there is a minute 20 left. OCG still have the time, and now Zoinkers is going to be going for the vertical as the sledge. It's something that Okami didn't really get to do a lot of. And in fact, all three of their Aruni gates are set up on the garage breach, so whoever's playing outside, likely Devil, is going to have to go ahead and burn those with his smokes, but there's a C4 that comes up. Addle down Zoinkers. GXD looking for the trade through the floor, but he doesn't find it. He'll be able to salvage his teammate, but here's the flank from Wav! Still left unchecked. He peeks Spiral into Anti, and he'll get a triple kill, finding both of them. Exile is cut down by Devil through the breach, though. But more importantly, Wav gets away, but here he comes. Is this going to be too aggressive? Does Nova take him out? Wav skirts away with Nova following very close behind, and Wav's head gets ripped off. What a shot from Nova. We're back to an even 2-2 despite the efforts of the Malusi. We're back to even. Exo nearly gets caught through the rotate by Devil, but Devil needs to contest with that mirror window, something that's not an easy task. Nova still watching from above, and Devil coming from the breach. There's still a C4 and 3 gas canisters in hand for this defense. Another gas canister comes out. It chokes off Nova. Nova is one breath away from dying, and this thermite is stuck in the Malusi. The Exo being called out to Exo, or sorry, the info being called out to Exo. The smoke finds the kill, and the Mira finishes things off. Okami, after Wav did the most, are still able to fall back on the anchor game and win the round.
Well, with an info-heavy attacking lineup, what was OCG's biggest problem? The lack of intel. It really was just Wav, who was positioned on the top floor, found the initial kill, running down and supporting over in benches. It was Subarctic playing aggressively on Spiral, but little did we know, little did OCG know, there was support coming in from above. Then, lo and behold, Wav continuing to be left unchecked. No zero cams in place, apparently. No more Jackal scans to actually help that clear out. Wav was allowed to roam free, rotated down towards Circle Desk, and then found 2 kills after the assist from the C4 below. Excellent play from Okami, knowing exactly how to capitalize on the OCG weaknesses, and despite a lineup geared towards intel, that was their very problem. Applause to Okami for making that one happen, and now they'll look to do it again. Another top floor clear is in order, now that we have a lobby and piano defense in the cards.
10 seconds to insertion.
Okami looked good on that defense, especially Wav. I got a little bit nervous after they all started dying. Despite Wav's 3k, it still ended up being a 2v2. Now Wav is going for a spawn peek as he holds admin. How long he stays in admin, remains to be seen, but there is nobody walking into his line of sight, and thus there will be no kill on either side of the board. Wav is certainly staying there for a while, but he's I don't think he's gonna find anyone. We'll see how long it takes for OCG to take this top floor, as honestly... never mind. I didn't see the silhouettes correctly. I thought there were only 2 people upstairs. There's actually, like, 4. So there's a lot that OCG have to try and slog through. Like you said, they do have an intel-heavy lineup, but despite having that intel-heavy lineup, they still got flanked last round. Twice. By Wav. And that same player is going to start things off on the Devil. Sure, it's the Thermite. It's not the biggest deal in the world on a lobby attack, but still, it's a man up before GXD refrags on a rat. Oh, and Nova's planting.
Yeah, wow. Not only getting the refrag, but getting the plant down. Nova not going to be interrupted. Exo gets one. Wav another. Actually, just denying the plant in time. Another situation where I wonder how many milliseconds was left on that plant timer. Nova, unfortunately, just not able to stick it and get it down. And the early aggression, considering you'll have a minute 40 left, was a little bit too quick. Wav and Exo, I think, cleaning that one up. Getting those 2 final kills, and Okami make quick work of a quick attack. OCG, they wanted to rush on in there, get that bomb down, just like we saw from Okami in round number 2. But Okami, they were ready for it, and they did not let it happen.
And I always hate to really single out one person, but Bone, you gotta kill Exo there, buddy. Aaron, you know I love you, but you just cannot be whiffing all those shots. If you kill Exo there in pro, plant goes down. Exo is the one who denied it. With barely any seconds on the board, he was trying to dodge Bone's shots while also being able to kill the planter. He was able to do it successfully, because Bone could not cover from the upside down rappel on pro balcony. And that ended up cascading into a round loss. I believe that was, what, 3 for Wav, 2 for Exo. And now we see something that we don't see every day. A site that has almost completely fallen out of the meta. A lot of people don't like going to this one anymore just because of the sheer amount of windows, but Okami are going to go to console, and they've brought an Echo.
Yeah, it's good to see this site in play every once in a while. However, in terms of attacking play style, this generally has one of 2 options. You can either just hop on a window and sit there for the entire round, just fragging people out and making it impossible to defend, and that's usually why this has fallen out of the meta. But more commonly, or maybe equally as commonly, you can attack from the admin side. Everyone works their way in from the east. You clear out your way towards long desk and apply as much pressure towards meeting and projector as you possibly can. We're not going to be seeing that, though. We're seeing OCG just bum rush on into the basement. They just drop straight down the hatch, and wow. That's one way to lose a round. Wav is going to get 2 now. That a C4 cut another down. The C4 has actually dropped the diffuser. Bottom of the Visa stairs. Zoinkers will recover that one, but I don't know if this round is recoverable. Nova and Zoinkers, after making an interesting decision, will now be left alone in a 2v5 situation. A drone should spot out the player there in... Nope, it's not. A missed drone will allow Rafi to get 2. The drone did, by the way, go right at his feet, and he was still able to get 2 kills. Let's just forget that one ever happened, I guess? I don't know.
That was a 3K for Rafi and a 2K for Wav. You know?
Lost for words, honestly.
I don't really know what the plan was.
The site wasn't downstairs.
Maybe they thought it was...
I don't know.
Could they have thought it was archives?
They could have, and maybe they said, wait
Like,
a minute, the hatch is open.
Like, oh crap, it's not down here. And then they all sprinted up Visa. And I guess the plan was to rush Pro from Visa?
Huh. In terms of site rotation,
really weird.
They had split up, right? Because like it was garage, lobby, and then they could have gone to meeting or split. So if they had gone to split, it's or if they were going with the meta play, it stands to reason that Okami would have gone split, and maybe OCG were so certain that they just had a drone and Visa, they saw the hatch soft, and they said, go, 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 go. Still perplexing, though.
Yeah, that was... I honestly, I just don't know what to say after that. That was a little bit odd from OC. There just had to have been a missed call somewhere. And,
Protect your bombs from being
well,
defused by
Okami
attackers.
were there pretty much at the perfect time.
Attackers have located
Really.
the bomb.
And now Okami lead 5-4. It took a perfect side rotation. And now, we're going to go back down to Garage. This is where WAV got a 3K on a flank, and Okami just kind of shut everyone out. Can he do it again? We'll have
10
to see.
seconds remaining.
OCG probably not happy about their lead slipping,
5 seconds.
especially when Okami have no, their main IGL is not
Attackers'
present.
objective is to defuse a bomb.
And Okami will yet again set up a roam. Last time, it was Raffi who got an early down onto Nova before he was traded. Hopefully, OCG do a little bit more due diligence before they just rappel into the building.
Yeah, that would be nice to see. Maybe a little bit more patience. Quite the opposite of the last round. Would be refreshing here. We'll see how much they want to put into this top-down clear, if they want to go for it fully. Again, they've struggled with this in the past. At least they will identify the position of a couple of defenders. Not only do you have the zero cams, you've got those drones identifying the players over in that meeting and projector room. And you have the Jackal scan as well, identifying their feet. So Zoinkers could potentially get a nade up on through, but not if their teammates are falling all around them. Exo is going to decide to jump out the window at the exact correct time to whip out a knife and knife Bone in the back. So, unfortunately for the Zofia, that's going to be all she could have done in round number 10. And looks like OCG now have to pull something back. They've got control of Piano. A little C4 will detonate right onto the feet of Zoinkers, but this is a lot more control than we saw OCG take last time. They've made so much more progress. The question is, have they locked off their flank completely? Because right now, they seem pretty tunnel visioned on this objective.
Yeah, that's going to be the real question, because we saw WAV just kind of walk up and kill 3 people, and if I'm not mistaken, I just saw a blue silhouette on the top floor.
Yep.
And that's a misnade from Zoinkers. That's super unfortunate, and he has not found the Cade Claw on the main breach. Yes, it's WAV. Still lurking around the top floor. Raffi tussling with Nova over towards Spiral. I believe Zoinkers has finally got the Electro Claw, so that'll make way for the breach of Devil. And WAV will likely be making his move soon, or at least he has to. If he plays too passively, then by the time he goes for this flank, it'll be a little too late. GXD is the one holding top yellow, though, so if WAV moves now, he could potentially be caught. This right now is a game of timing. Oh, they actually have the zero cam. They know exactly where WAV is. Here goes the push from Lucy. GXD should be ready to catch him, and he'll win the fight. Down goes the flanker that saved the previous round, and GXD finds Raffi as well. Nova on yellow stairs catches Exile. It's just Subarctic and Exo in a 2 versus 4. 20 seconds remaining. No more gas canisters. No C4. Exo finished off for GXD's third, and it's just Sub in a 1 versus 4, and GXD will find 4 of his own. OCG will take their first round in 3 flawlessly. Almost flawlessly.
Incredible stuff there once again. But this time from OCG, they really recovered that one from the last round performance. And that is a lot cleaner. I mean, all around. Not only far and away from round number 9, but even that first garage attack where we saw them struggle with the intel and struggle with the flank this round was a complete difference. WAV, as we highlighted, was in admin until the late round, finally decided to rotate back, but what was waiting for him? GXD with the zero camps, with 2 kills back-to-back on those yellow stairs, and from there, OCG just lit up the scoreboard. They poured their way into the site because they did not get hung up in Piano. It all started at the beginning of the round. They had a quicker pace than before. They had a quicker clear. They got quick control of Piano, and they denied the massive flank. It was massive how they took that round. Now they just have to continue to learn from those adjustments and continue that success, because Okami want to tempt fate yet again. They're going back downstairs.
GXC's flank watch last round was a, I mean, immeasurable part of why they won that. Looks like their intel game was way better, and GXC just winning his fights. I did not expect him to beat out Raffi, as he was almost caught. He was on ADS. I'm not sure if he was mid-reload, but he still was able to kill that Aruni. We're going back down to Garage, and Okami are still going to be playing this aggressively. They still got Wav upstairs. I imagine Raffi has now joined him because instead of Aruni, he's got Mozzie. Much more drone denial in the hands of Okami, hoping that OCG takes longer when it comes to this info game. And, Wav is still on this window. Is he gonna... Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. As soon as I saw GXD get on the rappel and Wav not shy away, I knew it was over. And, I mean, sure, Wav goes 1 for 1, but that's the 0. That was the main source of intel that allowed OCG to lock off those flanks. And now, people like Raffi are going to be able to play a lot freer on that roam.
Well, we can see Subarctic playing pretty free over in benches, now at the bottom of those spiral stairs, playing pretty aggressive once again. But all eyes have got to be on this top floor right now, because if they don't clear this out, if OCG do not take a full clear on this top floor and set up good flank drones, then they are going to be flanked 150%. Okami know 100% who they killed. They know exactly what it means for them. It's just about taking advantage. And we saw it just a moment ago. There is someone upstairs still lurking around. We're not quite at the halfway point, so that player isn't at the most dangerous. They can still wait until the later points of the round, because right now, OCG, they are once again focusing on this objective, trying to get this Electro Claw off the wall, and Zoinkers will finally be successful in that endeavor. I think that's Raffi, who's positioned on that top floor. He'll work his way all the way towards admin, and he'll begin this rotation around, but he needs to be quite careful here, because several players wait over by benches and by these yellow stairs.
I can hear pings going off, and I'm not sure if that's the attackers pinging Raffi, but Subarctic is there to help, and Raffi gets the second one, and Anti, the duo, coming up huge with 2 picks, and Subarctic, wow, what a shot onto Nova! That leaves just Devil in a 1 versus 4. He's again stuck in the same Banshee as last time. And what a play from the duo of Raffi and Subarctic. Raffi coming from the top, Sub coming up from the bottom, and completely shutting down that push from OCG, and that puts Okami on match point.
Well, you called it, Harrison. I mean, you said OT may be on the horizon, and if OCG have anything to say about it, that's where we're headed here. But Okami, yes, indeed, they are on match point. They have had a very successful defensive half. Barring round number 10 on Garage, they have won every single other defensive attempt. They first won the Garage lobby meeting, a clean sweep, and then going to Garage twice in a row to win it the second time. Here is where things get interesting, though. On match point, with the match on the line, and 3 points potentially on the line, a loss here would mean that 1 point would be lost from whoever wins this match in the end, because OT, you can only get 2 points if you finish out the win. They're going to head towards split for the first time. The first time we're going to get to see how Okami want to lock this site down. They're not going to bring, you know, maybe the standard lineup. We don't see the Mira, but what we do see is the Pulse. The big difference compared to the side of OCG and what we saw from them on their defensive side.
10 seconds to go.
I'm excited to see this Archives play, because they basically hid this to go console. They've got the Pulse. They've got 3 C4s total. They've got a Jaeger roaming around, and look who's on the Jaeger. It's Exo. He's not on a supportive role this time. He and Exile have much projectile denial in their disposal. They're going to try and hold on to admin for as long as possible. OCG seemingly clearing from the west side of the map is definitely unorthodox. We see it sometimes, but it's not the most common. And Bone breaching into Cafe, I mean, is this going to be a full Archives take?
I mean, this is what OCG suggested they wanted to do last time. I mean, we saw them full rush when they mistook this site for another. Looks like they'll get the opening pick, so that is exactly the way they wanted to start. Removing Exile, those Wamai magnets won't be able to regenerate and continue to be used. But this attacking pressure is largely split off from one another. You're going to have Zoinkers, who's going to take a bit of fall damage at his own hand as he isn't quite able to vault onto that suicide Valk here. And we'll see the rest of the team now gearing up pretty aggressively in Cafe. That's Bone and GXD who are going very quickly, and Bone with a good shot onto one. GXD removes the head of Subarctic, and there goes Archives control. Raffi, sure, he gets a flank and gets one, but that victory is short-lived because OCG will finish out these next 2 kills. They'll take round 12, and they will indeed send us to OT.
There we go. I just like to say I called it.
You did.
Just to be clear, it's overtime. But Okami have defense. That's what we got to pay attention to right now. It's been a 4-2 half for the defensive side for both teams. And so we can consider that advantageous for Okami, just by grace of OT side selection. So right now, it's on OCG to win this attack. Sure, this is Garage. You know, Okami aren't perfect on it, but they are 2-1. And they're bringing out a slightly different lineup. Sure, they still have Wav and Raffi on the Malusian and the Mozzie. Still got some on the Mirror and Exile on the Cade, but Exo has flexed off of Smoke and onto Echo. Figuring that, hey, maybe the Smoke Babe Denial wasn't really working out. We have enough prep when it comes to that shotgun, and Echo himself does bring a shield, and he can feed counter intel to possibly our roamers or the men on site. So we'll see how Exo and his team decide to play around this, but it's definitely going to be different than how they've played this defense previously.
Again, this defense not only focusing on intel of their own, but will again have to be paying attention to GXD and those zero cams and Nova on the Jackal. They got to pay attention to that, because last time they were able to win this round, it was definitely assisted by the fact that you did not have GXD in play. You didn't have the zero cams because of the ridiculous aggression that we saw from WAB. I suspect we're not going to see as much aggression as this the stakes increase as the round count continues to grow, but we'll probably see a pretty eager roaming defensive team, because that is where they found their success. We'll see Raffi, we'll see Wab, this roaming combo, and they are getting spotted out, but they're not going to leave just yet. Raffi in a position to rotate away. He's on this Visa staircase, so at any time he could dart back towards the basement, but he does need to be careful because he could risk getting caught out and that rotation shut off.
1 minute expired, and OCG have already made their way through console office. GXD now setting up his zero cam so he can watch and wait for those roamers to flank once again. That was a huge boon to the attack last time they actually had it, and Wav can hear the flank watch going out, so he'll likely be a lot more cautious if he goes for this flank, ensuring that he shoots out those zero cams first, or maybe not even playing around them at all. Or he just fell back down Visa stairs. That could also definitely... Yeah, okay. He's not going for a flank this time. Which is, I mean, it's understandable. Last time he got completely shut down by GXD. Now he'll just play for his C4 on site, listening and waiting for someone to come up above those floor holes so he can blow them sky high. One C4 already out. That's Exiles expended as the breach has now been opened. Another C4 wasted, and Zoinkers now a little bit more comfortable going for this first play.
Yeah, OCG are in a really good spot. They've baited out a lot of utility. They have all the intel on the top floor they need to prevent a flank, and they're going to get the opening kill. That's Raffi. Cut down another roamer, another big gunner off the board. He'll be relegated to those yokai drones to provide that intel, so still pretty useful in this round, but that is one gun you've taken off the board. Oh, a good shot from Exile. Wav to follow up. Nova and Bone are now gone. Zoinkers trying to recover this one still on the vertical play. Nobody revealing themselves to this angle, but now Devil and the bomb in hand are inside of sight. Zoinkers, well-timed look towards the flank as Wab really got eager to get that aggressive, and he will pay the price. Exo, good response, removes Zoinkers. Devil and GXD are now all over this objective, running every which way. Exile shuts him down. Subarctic on a nice swing with the Vector in hand, and that will be the end of the round. Okami on the defense. They continue their success on this side of the coin. They will take the first round of OT.
OCG started off with a pick from Nova, but Exile, what a shot. I couldn't even see him on Nova's screen. But Exile was still able to find the frag and retake upstairs after Wav already got a pick. So sure, you know, Zoinker's still hanging around in bathroom. He kills Wav, but Exile is above them, watching and waiting. And because Exo is playing aggressively with his Echo behind the shield, kills one of the initial entries into the side, I believe it was GXD who went down. Zoinkers must join Devil, or sorry, no, Zoinkers was the one who got killed by Exo. GXD must join Devil in the site push. And what does that mean? Exile's free to drop. He's got the floor holes. Down goes Devil in the site. And Okami rotated around that attack very well. I was very impressed with their positioning. And that puts them on match point. But they have to attack Garage. And well, they're 1-1 on the site. But the one time they won it was because Subarctic got a 4K. And that is not something that you can rely upon every time you attack it. So we have really yet to see how Okami truly attack this site, but we do see something different. Instead of Iana, Subarctic is going to be on Jackal.
I don't know if you said we're on garage or lobby, but we are on the lobby site here.
Oh, and, it's on lobby. I looked at the silhouettes wrong.
All good, all good. I think, but again, you are right. This did go 1-1. First time Okami, they attacked it, they rushed it, they caught OCG off guard, and they won it very handily. But second time, similar to garage, OCG were able to bounce back and take that under their control. So they're going back here, you know, thinking to themselves, well, we are aware of the rush attempt. We're not going to let that happen again. We've got their number now. Let's go with what we know. And right now, it is going to rely on this top floor hold. Devil getting pressured out pretty hard here in console office, but nothing other than a couple of stuns and drones are coming down range. Nobody daring to come in on that rappel because it's just Raffi right now. There's not much support from anyone else. Oh my goodness, Exile? A perfect nade? Was that from below? I'm not entirely sure. Regardless, Devil's gone, and that's a massive early pick. Zoinkers has fallen as well, and Okami with the match on the line of a massive early advantage of 5 versus 3.
Wait, that was... Exile was out the windows. That must have been a tremendous toss. Bone will finally get the first refrag for his team on the Wamai. Down goes Raffi, but it's still a one-man advantage here for Okami. Subarctic looking to fully take this top floor. As the Wamai, I believe that's the Wamai, is still lurking around. He's found the footprint, though. And that'll track Bone. Now they know, but Bone still is able to get the kill onto Wab, and that's huge. Subarctic needs to find this refrag, especially as Nova finds 2. Nova completely saving the round. It's all on Sub. He's able to shut down the Mozzie. It's a 1v1, both the Spanish operators, the Jackal and the Mira, in a showdown that could potentially cost the match. Subarctic doing his best with the vertical destruction, using his shotgun. He's wary of a C4, which is why he was tentative about looking through those holes. Jumping off of Pro now, he knows he needs to recollect that diffuser. He has enough time to do so. 45 seconds remaining. GXD is not watching that Mira window. He's going to attempt to reposition, maybe even retaking the top floor now that he's known Subarctic has fallen off it, but no. He'll chill by the main stairs. He'll chill by jungle, waiting for Subarctic to make his way into circle. Smokes go out, but oh, they've got pings. They've got the hard info. GXD can swing off of this. Subarctic has no idea where he is. He's got a bit of an inkling. He'll take some bullets. That'll reveal GXD's location. The default cam now down. Subarctic going for the plant, and GXD, he's got a C4, but no! He's playing this too passively! He's gonna forfeit the plant, and it's in the perfect spot for Sub to deny from outside, but he's not gonna retreat just yet! In fact, he'll stay in and win the fight! Subarctic going absolutely massive to give Okami the map, and they take it back in OT. The subs always working their magic. They lose their IGL, but it doesn't matter. They'll take the OT win and have a total of 3 points in the stage so far.